All right, welcome back. Good morning, Mr. Sardauna. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Sandra Agu. It seems you are coming back from your new year.
Yes, I am.
It shows in you. You are not missing home anymore.
I still am, but I am. I hope you enjoyed your festive period.
Yes, it was okay.
Okay, so now taking a look at that video, and the summary of it is that the president has slashed the expenditure of all official travels, both domestic and international, by 60%. And now foreign trips, the president can only travel with 20%, the vice president 5%, then the office of the first lady 5%. For local trips, the president can travel with 25%, the vice president 15%, and the first lady 10%. So how do you react to this development?
It comes timely. We are expecting this earlier than now, because the situation of the economic, what do you call it, economic situation in Nigeria is alarming. And if you had the indices of global world indices from United Nations organization, they have made a lot of statistics that is too worrisome. Among the countries that are facing this type of challenges, there would be Nigeria in Africa, South Africa, Ghana, and Egypt. These are almost the most strongest economies nation, plus Morocco in Africa today. So by having a heavy economic imbalance in Nigeria, and at the same time, we have a lot of heavy debts, a huge one on Nigerian government. It has to be dealt with cautions, so that we will have a kind of, how we'll call it, recoping in the economic sector. Okay. And that can only happen when there is sacrifice from government and individuals, like the national broadcast he did on the 1st January. He said that he knew our situation. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are in apex poverty, that things are not okay. But he is assuring Nigerians that Nigeria will going to be on a right track, and we will going to enjoy and witness the dividends of democracy. And this can not only happen until when the Nigerians have sacrificed, have taken the hardship as a part of kind of, what do we call it, a test for some few period of time, or short period of time. We will going to overcome all the situation. But it was not enough from a people like us. In our perspective, looking then, we were saying that it can continuously be we, the masses, the citizens, that will keep enjoying the hardship, can take the sacrifice, can be more patriotic, can endure all the things that we are facing, or the challenges that we are into. But the people at the government, that is from a councillor to the president, that they are not sacrificing anything. He has done one, so we are expecting them to slash their allowance and salaries for more sacrifice, so that we will do more, and we will believe that our leaders are here standing for us, and we will stand behind them. Come rain, come shine, we will make sure that they have achieved their goals they come with. With this, we are believing that our leaders are in a right track to put Nigeria where in the Nigeria of glory, that is the then Nigeria we knew when we are very small, or what we are reading in the history, that Nigeria was rich, Nigeria was lending money to some countries like Saudi Arabia and co. Today we are nowhere to be found. But with this type of sacrifice from the leaders, you are now slashing 60%. Yes, it's a good thing. But it is very worrisome and disturbing, because when you slash 60% and you are saying you will be only going with 20 persons, are these 20 persons part of the security, your health management, the media team? No. If it is like that, then our president is not more safe. Yes. It has to be maybe, I'm going for so, let's say, just recently they were in Dubai for climatic something. change. Abi, what is the name?
Yeah,
so you are talking about Foreign Affairs Minister, you are talking Minister of Environment, you are talking about Minister of this and that. You understand what I'm saying? Even the Minister of Humanitarian and others were there. You understand what I'm saying? So in this situation, these are the type of people they are talking about. Slashing, when you are talking the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he should be there alone. When you are talking about Minister of Interior, he will be there alone. Then the other 8 can work with him at home through a modern way, that is ICT, by reaching out virtually to so by so doing, then we agree. But we are not talking about security or his media team or his maybe what do we call it? What do we call it? Those who are cooking for him, what do they have?
Domestic help.
The domestic helps. There can be 20 in any country.
That means with this now we have an issue with the figure.
Yes.
And some people on social media came out to say, who is going to checkmate this? Because now that you've raised an issue with that figure, when you say 20 persons, who are the 20? And in a situation whereby there are more than 20, who is going to checkmate that? Who are we going to hold accountable for that?
We will going to hold accountable. There is a chief of staff to the president. He is in charge of any person working with the president. He must be account about what is going on and what will happen and what will going to happen in terms of this traveling. Because in any journey, he knew about how number of people that are going. Because I hope and I think he has to append his signature on everybody that is traveling for his allowances or her allowances. So cut across, the chief of staff will be one of them. And then some of the closest security people to the president, maybe his ID cam and the chief security, must be given, you understand what I'm saying, a go ahead to do the same thing. So by so doing, a lot of people will going to come to their sense, but we will hold the chief of staff to the president accountable about these names. Okay,
why I just spoke about accountability is because on the 16th of October in 2019, the former president Muhammadu Buhari made the same move. He slashed the travel costs for ministers, himself and others to curb leakages. But nobody checkmates that. And it's more like, I don't know if it's with the new government, it went back to how it used to be, that the new president had to make that step again. So this is not the first time this happening. So why I'm saying this is because a lot of people have come out with different opinions that they still do not, and I think this is still the issue of mistrust between the government and the people. With this move made by the president, you believe it's a good one, but a lot of people still have different opinion, and there's still lack of trust in this move made by the president, because I think it's because of the former president made the same move, and still I don't think we achieved anything from that.
Okay, let me help you here, Sandra. Sometimes, you see, people are doing what they are doing because of what you are saying. Okay. Something happened and there was no quite figures of how and when, how it has been utilized. And now somebody emerged to be a new president and still people are taking, having the same thinking. But let me give you an instance. You can realize that the former president is a type of person who once he believes in you, he trusts you, he will give you all it takes. The only thing is that when you come, you will go to tender your own part of spending and whatever. All the inclusive will be stated by you, and it will be there by record. So when it comes to investigation, even he is around or not around, you're going to answer the consequences without his hands, because he has given you all it takes, because it is there written. Your memo, your every request, your everything given to you has been penciled down, so nobody can change that very record. But the difference is, to God be the glory, the Ashwaju that we know. You could remember when he was in campaign, he was telling people, I think in Lagos, in a town hall meeting, that if I emerge to be the president of Nigeria, I will assure you that nobody will stop me from removing the subsidy. If you want or you like, you can trek and protest from Lagos to Abuja. You remember that word?
Yes, yes.
And did he? He removed it. Nothing happened up to now. All the talking, he stand by his word. Secondly, when he said, I make you to be my ministers or whoever, If you mess up, I will mess you. You have to come up and work. You must explain how, where it will go to, how it happens. And later in the day, he met somebody that was going to be checkmating these people, the ministers. That is one of his special advisor. What is her name? Former Port Authority MD during the past government, Hadiza Bala Usman. So whoever happened to be among the ministers in this government will going to be checkmated, and he will going to write account, and this will be examined, and the scorecard is coming from one of his special advisors, and we believe in that. And we are seeing something. He said anybody that is not ready, he will going to send him packing. And just recently, something happened. Accusations start showing a lot of fingers to different people, from the former ministers to the present ministers, and some was suspended within 24 hours. This have started, and he took an action. If you could remember the past government, there was a time when Babachir, the former secretary to the government, was accused of embezzling of or using his company to have a contract of 200 million naira, and he lost the job. But it took months before he was removed. The same thing, if you remember, the finance minister who was accused of NYSC forgery, and at the end of the day, the woman was not removed. What happened was she just decided to remain what do we call it, a gentle woman, and she resigned and left. Then when you come to Magu, you know how the senators refused to approve his what do we call it, appointment for him to be substantive chairman of EFCC. But the president refused to remove him until when that scandals come up. That was how he relieved him from his office. A lot of people have been accused of a lot of things, but the president did not act. But this time around, you cannot tell me you are not seeing that. That has caused MFLA suspension. That have caused Abdul Rashid Bawa EFCC suspension. Just recently, you can see Halima Shehu from what do we call it? No coordinator with the social investment program. You see what happened. Look at the event minister, Dr. Betta Edu, what happened to her. Even the Minister of Interior was asked to, was summoned yesterday by him. I don't know what was the final decision, but I know he was there to answer a question. And if it continues like that, then definitely, you know, something will happen. So I think people must have a trust and belief with the man that is talking. When he makes a statement that only 25,000 naira will be paid to a junior staff in the name of palliative, the labor came out outrightly that day. Within 12 hours, he make a change, and he moved it to 35,000 to each and everyone across the civil service. So what am I trying to say is that this is somebody that have a listening ears. So he listened. If you remember that when he said 8,000 will be paid to about 25, what do we call it, Nigerians. People said that 8,000 is not enough for someone to, but he changed his style of the palliative to what it is today. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. So when we are talking about someone that having listening ears, and since he is having listening ears, you see a lot of things. In fact, because of this that you are saying, I saw a senator discussing an issue that this man, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he was pressing him, that is by acting in time to suspend the Minister of Humanitarian. By so doing, he said he is doing very well and excellent, but he should be very careful. There are some within his government, very close to him, there are some people, government people within him that he appointed. They are trying to create a cartel, turning to be a cabal. He should move very fast to slash them to their size. So it means that people are appreciating and recognizing that, yes, he is trying to be a man of his word.
Yes. All right, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Sandra.
Good morning, SMB.
Honorable Sardauna, good morning. You are on to SMB from Lagos.
Good morning, SMB. How are you doing today?
Well, we bless God and the compliments of the season. I will thank you.
I wish you the same.
Sardauna, thank you for your wonderful analysis, and let me quickly appreciate KAFTAN TV for giving us this ample opportunity. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised with what is on the ground. Remember, January, if I can remember, January 2021 or thereabouts, I mean 2022, he made mention that the kingmaker wants to be the king. And then we analyze issues then and so on and so forth. So many things which time will not permit us to go into details, because when somebody says something, you have to observe him, monitor him, go through his antecedents and then track records and see how far this man can go. We all know the man is ready for the job, and he said so. My worry now is, like Indume advise him on the cabal in any government, whether you like it or not. We are human beings. There must be that cabal issue. But the issue is, how do you handle them, and how are you going to deal with them? That's number one. Secondly, at his 1st January speech, he made mention something that has to do with religious ethnicity and so on and so forth. His focus is the nation, is the country. And we can see the policies on ground. Where we are facing challenges sometimes is the implementation of the policy. So I hope and pray, with the way Mr. President continue, I myself, I make so many write-up and I make so many comments when the issue come up. But thank God, the man has a listening ear. So the worry now is, we have issues on ground before Mr. President come in. There is issue of aviation. There is issue of Pandora paper, that is NPA. You understand me? So many things on ground. So I think I would recommend for Mr. President, through the National Assembly, we should have at least a special court, so that cases of this nature will not take long. They will be dealt with, because we must have to learn a process of reward and punishment. Reward and punishment. We make comment on evaluation, coordination, and monitoring. And as Alhamdulillah, Mr. President did that. We really appreciate that. So please, we should also have a special court that can handle cases of this nature, so that the things, we have a process of punishment and reward. It's high time to stop celebrating looters in this country. We always celebrate looters as heroes. Who does that?
All right, thank you so much for your...
Thank you very much. I remain SMD from Lagos, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
May Almighty Allah help you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was our very own SMD. It's always a pleasure to have him join us on the program. Well, back to our conversation. Still in line with what we've been discussing. A lot of people, even on the social media space, still have an issue with a part of this. And that part is the office of the wife of the president. Like the office of the first lady of the federation. Because also know that she was given some, I think 10 for local trips and 5 for international trip. And people were coming out to say, is that position even constitutional? Does she even deserve to have entourage when she's traveling? But I want to know what your opinions are regarding, first, the office of the wife of the president, and then if she deserves to have entourage for her travels. But before that, we have a caller on the line. I want to take this. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
How are you, ma'am?
Very well, thank you.
This is your regular... This is your regular from KAFTAN.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. How are you doing today? Compliments of the season.
Happy New Year.
I wish you the same.
I concur with the last speaker. She has spoken my mind.
Okay.
I'm greeting the analyst, Sardauna. Well done.
Thank you very much.
The Lord is your strength. We have to pray for our leaders, not condemning them. Let us pray for the president and all the ministers, that they will do more than what we are expecting. That is my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you so much for sticking with us on KAFTAN Television.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. As we know that this is Nigeria, I always call for the normal, I always said a normal word, common and known to everybody, but we don't want to make use of the word. That is patriotism. And if you look at the First Lady office, giving 5 people for the foreign trip and then the 10 people for the local trip, I want to assure you that, you know, in the first 4 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari, his wife was not recognized as a first lady, but a wife of the first family. But does that make her to be traveling with only 5 people or 10 people? And where is she getting the money to be traveling with? The laws that enshrines the president to have a wife and children, you understand what I'm saying, has given them a license to protection, to protect their life, whatever belong to them, in the level of being a family of the president. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So when you curtail 5 people to attach to any to a first lady, it is not much. We can't, even if you are talking about UK, where you cannot go out as a wife of a first wife, as a first of a first lady of a country, a wife to the president, with only 5 people, and you think that that person have not done a lot. But the differences that people are having is this. You can look at it at the last Dubai trip. You'll understand there are a lot of people involved. And before then, even the president have made some statement. Do you know that people are going there sometimes on their own, not under the federal government budget, being either a minister or a governor? Some of them were trying to be there in order to have an opportunity to see the Mr. President. Some are doing that in order to go there and learn. If you are talking about climatic change, yes, where experts are involved, a lot of people from NIMED, from Environment, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Solid Minerals, and a lot, even agriculture and water resources, were trying to be there so that they will, what do we call it, imbibe with a lot of things involved of increasing their knowledge, trying to have an opportunity to maybe meet a people that they will going to invite, a lot of things, but not with the name of the president. But you cannot deny them being citizens of Nigeria. So the common language people use, especially here in Nigeria, the media are saying this is what? Presidential entourage. While it is not like that. People must start knowing this clearly. There are people, I think he went to US, if you remember, sometime last year, around September or August. The entourage there are very many. Are you aware of that?
Yes, yes.
Do you know that those who, some of them that were able to make it to the US, they are not part of him? They just have an access to get visa and move to those very places. And they are using that period in order, because we are not sincere. Some of the people, there are something they are doing. If you are under a governor, it can cover a lot of people that have doesn't have an access to a visa. I think you know that. And it has a certain name they have given, I have forgotten the name. So that upper hand that they are having, they are using it to bring their cronies, their friends, and then they will use it to travel at that very type of occasion. And when that occasion maybe is taking place at New York, they may be, those are going, maybe are going Alaska, and maybe some are, their target is moving to Canada or else. You know what Nigerians can do. So people must differentiate between that and the entourage, and the duties of people, among the people that will go to educate Nigerians are you media.
All right, so we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Happy New Year.
I wish you the same. Compliments of the season. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank God. I just tried to meet up with you people for the first time this year.
Okay.
There is one thing I want us to remember in this program. You see, since that we have seen that the president is a no-nonsense man, there is something that's been bothering me in my mind.
Okay.
From the last regime, we have been hearing about some account that has no BVN, which I know because of the level of corruption that is on at stake. Some of the politicians and all these strong businessmen that they get the money through fraudulent way, they open an account, and because the way the EFCC, and that was during Magbo also, they started chasing those people around. Some of them up to date with they do not have BVN. And hence that we have gotten a president that is a no-nonsense man that is already fighting corruption, even right from his own cabinet. Then something must be done about this. All this money are ours. There are so many things at stake that we don't have money to take care of. More especially, there is no road network now. The entire nation, no road network. If you look at the federal road now, many of I'm a driver. You can't convene 911 from here, even from where we used to load yam down to the east now. We have to take through Cross River now, bust out at Abakaliki because of the road network. So all these things have become a menace to lives. If you look at our road now during December, there are numerous of accidents because of the road. So at least most of this money that is kept that has no owner, then the government should take charge of it. They have given a minimum at least 8 years of the last regime has gone. We are now at least at the first maybe 1 year of the thing now. We are going close now, and they are saying at least that grace is enough. Let them make sure that any account that has no BVN, come what may, let it be taken care of this year, please.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution.
Information get to the president.
All right,
we need all these things to solve our problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions. Now, quickly away from this story before we run out of time, let's also look into some matters of corruption, since our last caller has raised things like that. Let's take a look at Betta Edu's case. I'm going to take this headline from the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and it says the EFCC extends probe to bank CEOs handover documents. It says commission grills Edu for hours. I want to get your opinion in everything that has transpired so far in this issue of Betta Edu, and now it's between her and the EFCC, because it's more like the president has handed her over to the EFCC and the ICPC. So what are your thoughts in this regards?
What is good, what is ideal to be done.
Okay.
That is, if she's been found guilty, should be dealt with. That is, justice must prevail. And the good part of it that she should not be allowed to go alone so long she is not alone. Okay. Those hands
to go alone so long she's not alone would mean
maybe a lot of people are involved.
Okay.
Because if you had the man that I was talking about was Senator Indume.
Yeah.
He said, what happened to Betta Edu? She's not alone. Some hands are there that are very close to Mr. President. If it is true, what is wrong? They should go. And if it is just like there are a lot of things. When I read something very, very enticing, they said the woman that was arrested in the first place, Halima Shehu, she knew about everything. But if she have allowed it happen within the ministry, the president will not able to have an access to the what happened. But she turned herself very dumb until when she got to the AFCC and they found the information, then they have to move it to the president. Then the president was having an interest. That was when she started opening the can of worms. That this person has directed this have directed that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, out of the 30-something billion that they were talking about, 30 was saved by her in a different account. Whatever it is, she even takes some of her colleagues, superiors, that she's the one who saved this money somewhere in order to stop the minister from having an access with to that money, because she have started embezzling the money. She have already spent stolen 3 billion. That is what the woman was saying. in that situation, she felt that the other monies are not safe. So she came back for the this one, and that was where she found that the money were nowhere to be found. And where she put the money, this woman cannot have an access to the money within a short period of time until when a lot of voice have come up, and that is why it happens. And now she is able to save this amount of money, and then the person that been accused, who is the last minister, was even advised by the accountant general that such a thing doesn't happens in the public ethics, the public rules. This money must go through the right channels before, not a private accounts. Once the money is going to private accounts, they are going for the people mean for disbursement, the final people. But anything less than that, the money must come through the government purse. So for that reason, if things like this are happening, at least we are growing fast. At least we are catching up with the fight against corruption and whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And in this situation, nothing should be allowed. Anything should be torn so that a lot of things head will even roll. You see, with this, that is how the last ministers were able to enjoy the administration of Muhammad Buhari, because he was not talking when he said he will be saying, yes, I will going to do this, I will going to do that, even to prop you, but he told you that at the end of the day, nobody will call him, because whatever you ask for, he has given you. Whatever you have not asked for, the record is there. So in this situation, since we have someone that is supervising, that was what we lacked in the past. Even the former Minister of Works and Housing, Fashola, was saying that Buhari and Tinubu, they are the same people that hate corruption. But the difference is that when you are working with Tinubu, you should be ready to answer his call by 2, by 3, by any hour. And mind you, he has given you a job, he will be on your neck. In fact, if you are not very careful, you will be working with him until when that work is over. So now we can see an example. All
right, let's take this call before we draw the curtain today on the press. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How was your night?
Very well, thank you. Good morning, Chief Aro.
Good morning, Sandra. I want to contribute to the discussion.
Okay, please go ahead.
Let me first congratulate Tinubu for taking a very prompt action in suspending the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Okay. You see, during Buhari time, there was a case on terrorism against Pantami, and Buhari allowed Pantami to be there for 8 years, a country fighting terrorism, and you tolerating terrorism for 8 years. You know it's not palatable. Then let's quickly go to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. You see, Nigeria has a lot of shoes, but today we are walking barefooted because of corruption. You see, what is happening in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, the humanitarian affairs have been baptized and confirmed with corruption. Since the inception of the ministerial affairs, it has been a corruption all along. And see, the moment they tackle it, the better. You remember what Donald Trump told Buhari when Buhari visited Donald Trump? He said, fantastically corrupt. That time, Donald Trump has seen everything surrounding Buhari. He knows that in Buhari government, every minister became a president in their ministry.
All right, thank you so much,
and corruption became endemic in Nigeria. But today, look at what Tinubu is doing. I said, kudos to Tinubu, and I hope he will continue like that. Remember that 3 trillion naira have so much be invested in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. This 3 trillion should have been diverted to other sectors, and Nigerians will have been enjoying now. But look at what is happening. A lot of things have happened. And let me quickly go to the 60% reduction.
We are sorry we will not be able to take more comments. We're already run out of time. Hoping that we'll get more of your comments tomorrow, Chief Aro. We are so sorry we'll be unable to continue to take your comments. Please join us again tomorrow. And that was our conversation with Hassan Sardauna. He's a public affairs analyst. Until I come your way tomorrow again, do stay tuned to KAFTAN Television. My name is Sandra Agu. Thank you so much for watching. Koga Zero Day.